to Lessons from the Entrepreneur. My name is Melissa Odor. Today we are with Fena of Phendi Interior Design here in Komarok. She's going to take us through some of the beautiful pieces we have already seen that she does. We're talking about a lady who you walk into a house, you give her a blank slate, and she starts creating from the floor up and making sure your spaces look beautiful. Doesn't matter whether it is a house, it's an office, whatever workspace that you're in. Karibu sana Fena of Phendi Interior Design.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for allowing us to walk into this space. We have seen some of the fundis already drilling and making sure the pieces are coming into life. So tell us a bit about Phendi Interior Design. First of all, where did that name Phendi Interior Design actually come from?
Okay, the name Phendi came from my name. My name is Fena Kawondi, and I merged the names at least to have something I can identify with, and also something that is easy for somebody to say it and easy to remember.
What is the scale or the space that you operate in?
We do quite a number of services. We do interior architecture. That's more of a constructional bit of it. We do furniture design, production, and design and production. We also do soft furnishing. That one involves curtain making, cushions, lampshades. The small decors, they're in the bracket of soft furnishing.
Perhaps tell us a bit about why you started Phendi Interior Design, which year, what inspired you to start?
I always love art, I love creating. So it's something I started, I would say, when I was a child. I'm very artistic when it comes even sketching. So it's something I developed over time. Then now when I grew up, I just wanted now to narrow down to a career. And that's when I landed on interior design. Yes.
So you pursued it into college and into employment?
Yes.
Okay. So how was that transitioning, and especially in the employment space where we know, even when you come with all these skill sets, you will still be narrowed down to a specific area to operate in. For you, how did that transition from college and into employment?
My background in employment, I would say it was all-rounded because I've worked with companies that deal with commercial interior design only. Some deal with residential. So I was able to pick skills from each and every department. And while I was still in college, I was absorbed by a company as an intern, and they liked what I was doing, so I continued working for them for like a year or two. So at least that one gave me the passion and the drill. And normally I would say it was kind of competitive with the way they were working. So discipline was instilled in us. Then I moved to another company that was interior. They were doing interior design, but now it was only sales. So I had to pitch my interior design skills, like even if a client wants a seat like this, how would you try and make them buy with a stool? Like how would it be a complete set? So I would give them like consultation and also guide them and even request to visit their houses and see what else or how best they can go about it. So I would say it would be a win-win situation because I'm not just selling the furniture for them, but I'm selling and giving them the reason why they have that piece.
This entire season that you have been in from employer to another employer is what gives you the skill and the confidence to walk into an empty space and decorate it from the ground up. I actually love that analogy where somebody just gives you a blank slate and then you work with it. So when they do that, for example, explain to us, where do you start? What do you start with?
To me, it's like an open canvas to play with. So normally I would have meetings with the client. I encourage one-on-one meetings or even preferably going to the site to be able to visualize and see the space. Then also in the process that I'm interacting with the client, I'm able to pick the personality of the client. Is it somebody who likes a very subtle kind of design? Do they like classic? Do they like modern? And of course, as we share notes, I'm able to narrow down and tailor it to what fits the client.
So because this show is about entrepreneurs, we want to know how you transitioned from employment into now doing your own thing in your own time at your own space. How was it for you?
When I was in employment, I took a break from employment a few years. I would say like about 2 years. Then in the process still I was doing like a freelancer because I had previous contacts and referrals. So they would engage me and I would do for them like I would say like a side hustle at the time. So doing it as a freelancer, I progressed on bit by bit, because now when you're under employment, you have a specific set of job description that you're given. You can be told, okay, you're designing, you do kitchens, or you're told for you just focus on maybe color coordination and stuff. So while I was doing it as a freelancer, that break I would say was an eye-opener, because I would walk to different showrooms. I was able to exploit in other places what other people are doing. And that's when I got the interest of getting into stitching. So I got me a machine and I started stitching curtains and cushions. I self-taught, I would say I heavily on YouTube. So when I learned that, at least I knew it was an extra skill aside from just doing the computer-generated designs or the sketches. So it was like an extra skill. So with that, I progressed slowly by slowly. Then post-COVID, that's when I would say, went full-blown doing now the furniture.
So people normally say, moving into your own thing is hard because, we cry for capital, we sometimes don't have support. And then, of course, you have the naysayers who say, are you ready? Are you sure? Was it a wise idea? Employment with the economy.
Yeah.
So for you, what are some of the challenges that you had to overcome to be able to set it up until now?
There are naysayers, yes. There are challenges here and there are times you feel like you want to quit. But at the end of the day, when you remember the goal, you just continue soldiering on. Mm-hmm. So I started small, as I would say, when I was doing like the freelancing, when you do here and there consultancy, a client commits like that, you progress, you save up. So you don't have to start it or maybe get enough capital to start. You just start from what you have. So you look at it and ask yourself, what can I do with this? Mm-hmm. Or use what you have, basically, and just start. Because if you have the skill, then it means automatically, how would you translate that into business? Mm-hmm. So as I told you, when I started with as a freelancer, I was mainly doing I'll just furnish, go buy decorations, decorate the house, outsource the furniture from even the previous companies I worked for, or even other places the client would want. So like that, you just build yourself and you stay in tune as you focus on the goal, and you just focus on it religiously without thinking of what will this person say, because if you think about it, it's your journey. And if it's your journey, you're the one, the amount of effort you're supposed to put if you have a particular goal in mind.
So what exactly is he doing at this point? We're seeing the seat is coming alive now.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the finishing part, or he's still continuing?
This one still, there's a long way to go.
Okay.
He's doing the sanding. Mm-hmm. So he's using different kinds of sandpaper. Mm-hmm. They're available in different grades, so from coarse to the finest. Mm-hmm. So if he's sanding it, you can see that he's folding the sandpaper.
Yeah.
So at least he can be able to get through the grooves, yes, and also not lose the pattern. Mm. So he has to follow all the contours of the furniture. And as he's sanding, it's a process. Actually, I would say it's usually like a 3-phase process. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because while he's doing it, he has to check it again and also change the grades of the sandpaper. And do the staining. Then after doing the staining, he has to sand it down again Then with different woods, there's a way it absorbs the polish. So it has to be done well and make sure like it's totally smooth.
What are some of the disciplines that you feel have guided you until this far, that you maybe have picked from your former employers or even from the networks that you have created over time?
What I can say I've picked is discipline and consistency. Maybe your dream, even if you tell somebody, they might not really picture it, but you yourself, if you have that discipline and you keep on showing up, regardless, there's rainy days, there are sunny days, but you just keep on showing up, then you're able to overcome even the challenges. And it's funny, the more you do it, it gets easier, or you even get that muscle to be able to tackle that particular problem. Because I would say maybe the challenges I faced when I was beginning, they're not the challenges I'm facing now. They could be greater, but now with the experiences that I had while I was under employment, at least I learned from them, I was guided by them, and also keeping in touch. Communication is key. So even when I would speak to other friends who are still in the same business, or even consult them like, hey, how do I go about this? And you pick a leaf, you pick whatever lessons that maybe they went through, they would advise you. You pick that and just you mold it to how it will work best for you.
What are some of the skill sets that somebody who wants to get into the space of interior design for you has worked? What are some of the skill sets that they should have if you are to guide somebody who wants to go into interior design?
I would say creativity. You have to be like very creative, and you also have to be open, like openness in terms of you're not rigid, because you'll encounter different clients with different preferences. Maybe it's not your style, but you have to execute it. So you have to also read a lot and research and continuous practice. You also have to flow with the trends, because I would say interior design is like fashion. Trends keep on changing. Maybe what was in now might not be in a few years to come. Or even maybe when you look at it, that's why we have different styles like vintage, modern. So when you're open to ideas, you're able to absorb as much as you can.
So at this point, what is he doing?
This is the upholstery section.
Yeah.
You can see now he's dressing or dripping the chair. So this technique is called deep button. Normally a Chesterfield, it's a very, I would say, a style that is endless. And normally when he's doing it, you can see he's pulling with a string so that he can be able to achieve the creases. It's just a design whereby it usually looks very classy. And if you look at the way the pleats are folding, it gives a very neat look at the end of the day. Then of course you can always be changed to a different fabric. So this one is a brand new one. And when we're doing the furniture, we also do the repair pieces. So if a client wants the old chair to be turned into a new one, then of course we can be able to do it and also restructure the design. And also in terms of upholstery, we can always do a different fabric. So this is one of the techniques that are in upholstery.
Where do you source from your materials? Tell us about that. Are they locally made? Do you import? Where do you get them?
Heavily, we do locally. We support local. So from the timber we get here locally, but they're imported, of course. So the raw materials that we use for the furniture are the timber. There's a wide range of timber. There's hardwood and there's softwood. For the fabrics, we also get locally. A few orders, maybe clients would order, they would import from abroad, we also do. And we make sure that it's top-notch class, because we are targeting like very bespoke pieces so that when a client sees, they feel like it's a piece of art. It's not just furniture.
When it comes to pricing of items, you know, when people see these bespoke pieces, they're like, these things are so pricey, so pricey. How do you go about it to ensure that perhaps any other client, an ordinary client, would be able to afford them, make the house look also nice, similarly to the high-end clients who are able to pay off without bargaining so much?
It's a wide bracket. We absorb all clients. So I usually say, come as you are. So if a client wants a particular style and maybe they're not able to afford, there are different ways to go about it. One, for example, like for the wood, the hardwood is normally expensive, and there's the softwood as an alternative. So we give a client a proposal, like, could we do it in this way? If they're okay with that, then now we guide them through. We don't just limit the client, like if it's not the price, we don't like insist it has to be this amount. There are different ways to go about it, even to the fabric or even paintwork. A client might want a specific kind of effect, and maybe we can get it from a wallpaper. So that one can be an alternative as a textured wallpaper, instead of having maybe the textured painting. Then an alternative can be a wallpaper, which can be less, and also we try and work within the client's budget. So maybe we can see is there a need for having a particular item. If not, then maybe we can decide to do it in phases, because the client might really want the bespoke piece and maybe they can't afford it, the entire item or the entire project. So we can even do it in phases, let's say room by room. So at the end of the day, when we are able to formulate that kind of an arrangement, a client is comfortable to also engage us. Yeah, and also for the high end, we also do the same. We also meet the client's standards. We try and make sure for the finish and the detail, we make sure we are very thorough. We take our time in also doing the products.
Yeah. So your parting shot as you wrap up this conversation, what would you tell any entrepreneur who wants to jump from employment, for example, to start their own business and they don't know where to start and they want to get into interior design space? What would be this advice that you tell them you must carry with you into this space?
You don't have to really be scared. Start now. If there's that drive that you feel, I want to do entrepreneurship, you just start now. You start small, however it is. Consult widely, interact with people, attend those, show up to those expos, those meetings, be able to understand, engage the right people. If you know maybe you're not in marketing, get somebody who can help you in that. Talk to them. If it's an accountant, talk to them, because I'm sure if you're in the employment space, you can have friends who maybe you can just talk about it. You don't have to maybe go directly and say, hey, I want to quit. But just inquire, maybe pick someone's brain, like, what do you think about this and that? Then you just take a day at a time.
Thank you for your time, Phendi Interior Design with Fena. We are so thrilled to see your pieces and everything that you have on display. This has been Lessons from the Entrepreneur. My name is Melissa Odor. Until next time.